What if I told you some of the most famous moments in history never actually happened? That some of the stories we've been told since childhood, stories that shaped our understanding of the past, are nothing more than myths, exaggerations, or outright fabrications. From the legendary Trojan horse to the so-called panic caused by the War of the Worlds radio broadcast, today we are diving deep into some of history's greatest lies, events that the world believed but never really happened. Prepare to have your mind blown. The story of the Trojan horse is one of the most famous tales of deception in history. According to ancient legend, the Greeks, after a decade-long war with the Trojans, came up with a genius strategy. They built a massive wooden horse, hid soldiers inside, and left it at the gates of Troy. The Trojans, thinking it was a peace offering, brought it inside their city walls. That night, under the cover of darkness, Greek soldiers emerged, opened the gates for their army, and Troy fell. But did this actually happen? The truth is, there is no solid evidence that the Trojan horse was real. The main source of this story comes from Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, along with Virgil's Aeneid, both of which are works of literature, not historical records. Archaeologists have found ruins of Troy, but no sign of a massive wooden horse. Experts believe it could be a metaphor for a siege tactic, like a battering ram or a hidden tunnel. Or maybe it was just a great story passed down through generations. Everyone knows Napoleon Bonaparte was a tiny man with a big ego, right? He was a short-tempered dictator, a little man trying to conquer the world. At least, that's what history tells us. But the reality? Napoleon wasn't short at all. In fact, Napoleon was around 5 feet 7 inches tall, which was completely average for his time. So why does everyone think he was tiny? The answer: British propaganda. During the Napoleonic Wars, British cartoonists mocked him, portraying him as a small, angry ruler to make him look ridiculous. Combine this with a measurement mix-up. French inches were slightly longer than English inches at the time, and suddenly history branded him as a little man with big ambitions. In truth, Napoleon was no shorter than the average Frenchman. On October 30th, 1938, radio listeners across America tuned in to hear a news bulletin that would change their lives. The Earth was under attack by Martians! Orson Welles' infamous War of the Worlds broadcast supposedly caused mass hysteria, with people running into the streets, panicking, and even committing suicide in fear of an alien invasion. At least, that's the legend. The truth? The panic was greatly exaggerated. Newspapers, threatened by the rising popularity of radio, took the opportunity to discredit the new medium. Reports of mass panic were largely fabricated, with only a handful of actual complaints from confused listeners. There were no widespread riots, no chaos in the streets. Most people either missed the broadcast or understood it was fiction. But thanks to the newspapers, the myth of the radio-induced hysteria was born. We've all heard about the Dark Ages, a time of ignorance, disease, and backward thinking after the fall of the Roman Empire. It was supposedly a period of stagnation where knowledge was lost, progress stopped, and people lived in total misery. But was it really that bad? Actually, the Dark Ages weren't as dark as we think. The term Dark Ages was coined during the Renaissance to make that era look better by comparison. But during this period, great advancements were made in science, agriculture, and medicine. The Islamic Golden Age saw breakthroughs in mathematics, astronomy, and engineering. The Byzantine Empire preserved much of Greek and Roman knowledge. Even in medieval Europe, universities were founded, Gothic architecture flourished, and major legal systems were developed. So, while it wasn't an easy time, it certainly wasn't a complete intellectual void. You've probably heard that the Great Wall of China is the only man-made structure visible from space. It's a fun fact repeated in classrooms, TV shows, and even by astronauts themselves. But guess what? It's not true! Astronauts have confirmed that while the Great Wall is incredibly long, it's also very narrow and blends in with the natural landscape. In fact, a highway or an airport is much easier to spot from orbit. This myth likely originated from a book in the 1930s, long before humans ever went to space. So next time someone tells you the Great Wall is visible from the moon, you'll know the truth. So why do we believe these historical myths? The answer lies in psychology and human nature. We love good stories. A giant wooden horse is more exciting than a military tactic. Propaganda and bias shape our perceptions. Napoleon being short made him seem weak. Exaggerations spread faster than facts. A fake radio panic sells newspapers. Cultural pride influences what we accept. The Great Wall myth makes it seem even grander. History is not always what it seems. Sometimes the truth is more fascinating than the myth. Which of these historical myths surprised you the most? Are there any other fake historical stories you've heard? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more history mysteries, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.